Yo, what's up guys? Anthony from LIKBF. Alright, so I've been trying to get out and shoot that walkthrough video of my kayak setup for 2025, but it's been so cold and nasty, I haven't had a chance to shoot the video. So instead, what I'm going to do tonight is throw you guys a bone. I'm going to do a quick gear review on a bait that's put a couple bucks in my pocket over the past 2 seasons. This is a bait that's kind of been overlooked by a lot of anglers. I think it got a little bit of a bad rap in the beginning because people were having problems with rigging it, but when this bait is rigged correctly, it's an absolute beast. I'm going to share with you guys the bait, how I rig it up, my rod reel setup, all that's coming up next. Stay tuned.
You're watching Long Island Kayak Bass Fishing.
Alright guys, without further ado, what bait am I talking about? The Yamamoto Yamatanuki. This bait is awesome. Not the little guy, this is the full-size 5/8 ounce soft plastic Yamatanuki. This is a fat, heavy, dense piece of thick plastic, and it's different than what they've seen. I think that's part of the reason they hit it. It's got a very unique fall. It kind of falls back and forth like this when it goes to the bottom, almost like a dying bluegill. And when you pop it up off the bottom, it kind of scoots up, kind of like a crawfish. This bait is awesome. It's got that Yamamoto salt inside of it, so once they bite it, they hang on. And I just think it's a different profile than what they've seen. I don't think as many guys are throwing this because I think it got a bad rap in the beginning. I think people were having problems with the hookup. And I get it because I had problems with the hookup in the beginning too, because I was using the wrong hook. I was using a 5-eye, just regular G-lock worm hook. And when I would set the hook, a lot of times the bait would get bunched up in the fish's mouth, and then the hook would hook back into the bait, and then you set the hook and there's no fish there. But I found a solution. I did a lot of research, and I found the perfect hook for this bait. Once I started using this hook, my hookup ratios went through the roof, and so did the bait started going through the roof of the fish's mouth, and they were coming in the boat. So I'm going to share with you guys that hook right now, actually. This is it right here. So this makes all the difference in the world when it comes to throwing this bait. This is the Owner Zoe Wire hook. They call it, I guess this is a new material developed by Owner called Zoe Wire. It's very thin. It's got a very thin diameter, so you get a good hook penetration, but it's super strong. And it's got that needle sharp Owner point on it. And the key to it right here is that, the screw lock. The screw lock is what keeps this bait in place and keeps it from slipping down. So I'll show you guys how I rig it up. Very simple. Most fishermen know how to do this, some might not. But you put the lock right in there and you screw it on right in the tip of the bait. And then I'll show you a little trick I do with it. I get it almost all the way up. I like a little bit of play in there for it to move around. Then I measure where the hook is going to come through the bait, like that. I'll pinch that with my finger, and I'll push the hook all the way through. I'm not done though. Once I push the hook through like that, what I do on this bait, since it's such a fat piece of plastic, is I take the bait, push it all the way down, and I push a little more. And I kind of tear a little bit of the bait in there, just a little bit bigger of a hole, and then I put it back. And this makes all the difference in the world on the hook set, because now it's got that extra room for that hook to come up. If you don't tear that little bit of gap in there, the hook will come up and you will get a good hook set, but with that little bit of tear in it, you get that much extra. Look at all that bite right there. So it makes a big difference. You do go through baits a little bit faster, but your hookup ratio goes through the roof. And what I do is I just pull it back, and you see it sits right in that little slot there, and then I kind of just pinch it off to the side and let it kind of bite into the plastic. And when they bite down on it, I mean, that hook's coming right out. So this is my key. This has made all the difference in the world. Once I went to this hook, the hookup ratio is phenomenal. And I started catching them like crazy. It's a great bed fishing bait. It's a great bait for flipping lily pads. It's a great bait. Any way you would flip, a Texas rig soft plastic, this works. I mean, I fished this in super clear water. I've seen them come up out of 10 feet and engulf it. This is a great bait, I'm telling you. I throw it on 20-pound Sunline Sniper, okay? And then my rod is a Champion XP. This is the spinner bait and buzz bait rod. It's a 7-3 one-piece rod, okay? And then I have that paired up with a Shimano 70 XG. It's got a 7-to-1 gear ratio. I like 7-to-1 because, you know, it's strong enough. It's still got enough torque to get them up out of that cover, but, you know, it's a fast gear ratio. So when you're going down the bank, flipping and pitching, you get in and out really quick. But I like it above like an 8-to-1 because an 8-to-1 kind of, you know, you don't have as much torque to get them out. I've always done better with flipping with 7-to-1, so that's what I prefer. All right, guys, so before we wrap up the video, one more thing I want to share with you guys is colors. So this bait comes in several different colors, but there's two that have really stood out for me. Early in the season in colder water or around beds, or when I'm flipping tight in like stained water, this dark brown purple laminate has done awesome. It's got like a little bit of a darkish tint on the top, and then it's purple on the bottom. They really attack this bait, especially in cold water. I've done really well on it. And then after that, once things kind of die down a little bit in the summertime, once the weeds start growing in, green pumpkin with blue flake is killer. I think this bait, more than any of the other ones, imitates a bluegill perfectly. And that's a lot of what the bass eat up here in the Northeast. And they just go after this thing. So these are my two colors I've done really well on. Give this bait a try. I'm telling you guys, with the right hook, it's killer. So buy a couple packs, get out there, try it out. Throw some comments below. Let me know how you guys do on it. Later in the week, it's supposed to get some nice weather, so I'm going to get out and shoot that walkthrough video of my kayak, so stay tuned. All right, guys, I hope you guys learned something. I hope maybe this could be a new bait in your arsenal, and I'll see you in the next video.